hip aches and pains in pregnancy and postpartum are the absolute worst. Like, am I right? Can any mom jump in here in the comments? Let me know. I am here today with some incredible hip stretches that will help some of that aching and pains that you have pregnancy and postpartum feel so much better. All right, so we are gonna hop back here to the mat and we're gonna start in a 90-90 position. So again, you have 90 degrees at your knee, 90 degrees at your hip. And you can take a few inches and just rock forward. And you can keep your hand up here on your thigh, or you can take one hand down to the mat, you can take both hands down to the mat. I want you to use whatever modification is feeling good for you today, and you can play around with it. And we're gonna just stay here and do some nice deep breaths, probably 5 or so. So again, we're gonna do that big inhale, 360 breathing. I'll link it below. If you've watched literally any of my recent videos, I think I link this in every single video, but it's for good reason, because the breathing is the foundation. So expand your ribs in all directions, pelvic floor relaxes, and then on the exhale, pelvic floor is up and in, ribs knit back together, abs tighten around you like a corset. Now for this stretch, you should be feeling it down the front. I'll show you. You guys stay in that position. Down the front of this hip flexor, so that this is your hip flexor area. So that's where you should feel it most intensely. With stretching, if you ever have pain, you stop. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, that's okay. Pain is not. So pain, you wanna stop. Discomfort, and sometimes the way that I tell the difference, it can be really challenging, I will say. In the beginning, if you are new to stretching, or if you're just in what I like to say, if you're in a new body, meaning you are in your postpartum body, which feels very different from your pregnant body and maybe your body before pregnancy, it can be difficult to know that, or to feel confident in, okay, this is discomfort, this is pain. So one thing is practicing. So it's literally just anytime you're doing any sort of movement of your body, really think about it. Like, okay, how am I feeling? How does this feel? The more you do that, the more aware you become of your body, and you will recognize in a more confident way, like, okay, this is pain, this is over the line, or this is discomfort. I'm just gonna switch sides while I'm yakking away over here. Okay, so now I'm taking my left leg, 90-90, and again, gonna rock that few inches forward. Again, you can be up here with your hands on that quad. You can bring one hand down and keep the other hand up. You can bring both hands down. And again, you're feeling this, the front of that thigh. So, the other way to tell, to tease out discomfort versus pain, is with the breathing. So during stretching, you're doing this 360 breathing. Really think about sending your breath to the area that you're stretching. As you hold the stretch and you do the deep breathing, do things start to feel like they're loosening up a bit? There's maybe a little bit more length anytime you take a breath. If that is the case, then this is likely a discomfort of how tight your body is. And the more you practice stretching, the longer you hold the stretches, things will start to loosen up over time. Awesome. And it's all about that practice and listening to your body and breathing. We're gonna do a few more here. Awesome. And literally we're gonna do one more. Like, this can be as simple as that stretch and this stretch, which I'll show 2 modifications for, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be just a few minutes, and if you do that few minutes every day, it makes a huge difference. I am at the point now where if I don't stretch for one day, my body notices it. Like, that day I will just feel not as good. And I thought, oh, it has to be 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or it doesn't count, or it's not gonna help. But then when I realized, okay, I have 5 kids, you know, even when I had 3 kids, but however many kids you have, like I have all these kids, or I have 1 kid, and I can't, like, figuring out a chunk of time to do XYZ is not possible. I have to do either I'm gonna do 3 minutes or 5 minutes, or I'm gonna do 0. So I may as well try 3 to 5 and see what happens. And I still was seeing benefits, which I think is a testament to how important things like stretching really are. Okay, so this one is called Frog. So again, so you're getting knees apart on the mat, and then I have my, my feet are turned out. This one is incredible for pregnancy and postpartum, but especially pregnancy and like for delivery prep. I think this just really helps your hips like open up and feel really, really good. So you can be in this position with your hands on the floor. You can also lower down if that's accessible for you and doesn't cause pain. This is a stretch that I absolutely despised the first time I did it. I was like, absolutely not. There is no way I'm getting into that position. To be fair, the first time I learned about this stretch, I was massively pregnant. And so it was like, just at that point, getting up and down off the floor was a challenge. But once I kept showing up for it, it was never painful. It was just that discomfort. Over time, I noticed it felt more and more comfortable, and I was able to get my knees further apart, and my hips just, it almost became this situation where it felt like my hips were craving this. Like they just felt so much better when I did this stretch. But I will say it's a process, and I've been doing it, you know, on a regular basis for a long time. So if you're like, heck no, maybe you're like me where getting into the position even the very first time was feeling daunting, like that's okay. Try it, keep showing up. If this is feeling good, you can stay there and stay in it. I'm going to show you a modification you can do if that is just like absolutely not. So this one is similar. It doesn't quite get to the intensity level that that one does, but it does target a similar area in like the inner groin, inner thigh area. So I have the soles of my feet together. I think about bringing my heels as close to my body as I can. I like to rock back and forth to kind of get my bum situated on the bones. And then you just think about letting gravity pull your knees down. You can have your hands on your feet, trying to like pretend like your feet are a book and you're opening up. And you can think about using your elbows to gently apply a pressure to help gravity get your knees open and down to the floor. And again, you may be watching and like you're up here, your hips may be so tight. This is where I started. I like literally could not even let my legs relax. That's how tight my hips were. But over time with practice, it really helps. And the other thing I will say is hip tightness is a major contributor to many other things in your body. Particularly, I'm thinking about things like low back pain, sometimes like knee pain. It really is a culprit that is often misunderstood or missed. So definitely think about that, especially as a pregnant or postpartum person, because your body is changing in terms of its flexibility and many different areas. And so that hip tightness can be a contributing factor to a lot of things. Awesome. And again, you always want to keep doing that deep breathing. So definitely subscribe for more to catch more of my videos. I have lots of stretching videos. I have postpartum ab videos. I have all kinds of things. If you have any video requests, you can definitely, let me know. You can send me a DM on social media. You can write a comment here, but definitely like, subscribe, ring the bell so you never miss a video. In a few minutes a day, like I was saying before, it doesn't have to be 20, 30 minutes. You're a busy mom. If you're here watching this, I know you're a busy mom. and you're maybe looking for ways to get moving that fit into your real life. So that is, that is me. That's what I'm all about. Definitely, like I said, subscribe so you can catch more videos that talk about that, because it can be 5 minutes a day and it makes a difference. It absolutely counts. It makes a difference. You're showing up for yourself. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Many times I'm in my pajamas on the floor of my closet. There's no mat. It's just me on the carpet doing my 5-minute stretch in the morning before I show up to all the things that I do in the day. But that 5 minutes matters. It's me prioritizing myself, and I want that for you. If any of this is resonating, definitely click below in my description box. I will have a link to sign up for a free movement consult. You can talk more with me about what it would look like to coach one-on-one, and how all of that looks. Because like I said, it doesn't have to be a ton of time. You can do it in a few minutes a day. All right, you guys got this. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.